Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we have Game 1 between oGsZenio, that's the yellow Zerg on the left side of Metalopolis, and his opponent today is going to be the red Zerg down on the bottom. It is LiquidRet, the Dutch player living in South Korea right now. Actually, both of these guys are in the Team Liquid OGS house in South Korea right now. They were also there when they played this game against each other, so hopefully they used dividers or sat on opposite sides of the room. But like I said, this is Game 1 because it is a best-of-3 series to determine the 3rd and 4th place winners of the StarCraft 2 Kaspersky New Year's Invitational. And 3rd place will receive $200, 4th place will receive $100, so these guys are looking to make a little bit of extra money by running through their Zerg housemate here on Metalopolis. And both of these players had a really good run in this tournament. They both beat the European players that came out of the group stages from this tournament, but then they both smacked right into their OGS teammates. I believe oGsZenio lost to oGs Top, and oGsMC basically made Rhett look bad. So here we are in the 3rd and 4th place match. The finals obviously are going to be Top versus MC, and those will be on my channel sooner than later. I'm running out of games from the Kaspersky StarCraft 2 New Year's Invitational, so I need to find a new wealth of replays here in the near future. I've been casting these since the new year rolled around, but now going to pull up the production tab just because nothing's really happened so far except for overlords and drones. Rhett is going to be building his hatch just a few seconds before Zenio drops his own there at each player's natural. Neither player has built a geyser yet, so they're both just keeping watch over their opponent with these overlords. The first person to build a geyser will of course just immediately be followed up by their opponent. Their opponent can just get one more little mineral back from the line before having to build his own geyser, so these guys are still incredibly even right now. The production tab of course shows that, and both spawning pools go down at the essentially exact same time. Yeah, so should be seeing Ling against Ling for at least the beginning of this match. The first variance will probably come from who chooses to build banelings and who chooses to build roaches. Roaches usually stand up a bit better than banelings, but it does depend on micro, of course. If you can get some really good baneling splatters, it doesn't matter how many roaches they have since they are kind of slow, and if you can get the banelings into the mineral line of your opponent, it can be really detrimental, and they won't be able to afford many roaches to defend. So these hatcheries are now about to complete. The production tab is still pretty much synced up. Now we're seeing a little bit of difference in drones building instead of lings. Who is getting the lings? It looks like Zenio is going to be the first one to actually get some offensive units out on the field. Both players getting 2 queens and Zergling speed at the exact same time. So Zenio looking to be a little more aggressive perhaps. Rhett getting that drone out before building 4 lings of his own. So what will Zenio do with his first 2 lings? We'll just take a look. Is he going to go ahead and send them at the front door of Rhett? And it looks like that is the plan. But Rhett, of course, as we know, is going to have 4 lings out by the time those arrive. So Rhett is basically just letting Zenio dictate the pace of the game with his scouting. Now he's sending 4 lings of his own. He's going to see this one from Zenio. He's not really too worried about it. Probably just going to let his queen deal with it if and when it actually arrives there. You can see he actually does pull his queen there. Zenio does have the watchtower, so he sees these 4 lings from Rhett coming up. That ling is going to be dealt with before it can kill a single drone, so the queen is a hero. Now we have Rhett running around this side. Nothing really crazy going on. Hasn't even attacked yet. Looks like that queen actually tried to fend it off a second ago, and ultimately these queens are probably going to kill these lings unless Rhett chooses to retreat. 6 drones coming up for Zenio right now. Looks like he is comfortable with what he's doing. He's got his baneling nest completed, and Rhett is about to have his roach warren completed. So Zenio opting for the little more micro-intensive strategy here in ZVZ. Zergling speed finishes right there. Queens obviously the same speed as they were, but Rhett believes he's not going to be able to get any more drone kills or anything, so he's just going to retreat. Now Zenio pops out about a dozen lings here, 10 lings running straight at Rhett's natural. There are no roaches completed yet, but 7 on the way, so Zenio has a very narrow window of attack here before these roaches come out and stop everything. They are going to snag a couple of ling kills, it looks like here. So Rhett is going to lose his initial investment, but oh, all these roaches catch these banelings eggs Baneling eggs in the process of morphing. That's huge for him. Of course, that saves quite a lot of damage from being dealt, finding those lings as they're morphing. Now he's spreading out his units here to prevent any more Baneling splash from going on. Going to try and kill as many of these speedlings of Zenio as he can, and now he's coming in for a counterattack, or maybe not. He's just going to hang out outside of his main. And now he's coming for a counterattack. He's got a new fresh crop of lings leading the charge. Zenio building a roach warren of his own now. He quickly sees that banelings are going to be a little bit obsolete here. 20 lings being morphed for Rhett as reinforcements. They can get up there extremely quickly. These roaches, of course, are a lot slower, so lings are the good investment there. If you look at the income tab, it looks like Zenio's been droning a lot harder than Rhett. He's a 7 drone advantage here, but banelings are in place now. All these speedlings lock these roaches in place, essentially, and the banelings come in. He doesn't want to... Oh, that was a massive, massive baneling right there. Just toasted about a dozen Zerglings. So Rhett, that single baneling may have just cost him his entire attack. He is forced to retreat here, and another baneling comes in now, gets a couple of lings and some damage on those roaches. Now it looks like Zenio does have the superior count of Zerglings. It's so hard to tell right now. There's just blood, yellow, and red all over the map. It looks like Zenio is finally going to start to retreat here. He's got a couple of baneling cocoons here morphing. Oh, and if Rhett doesn't get out of there, those banelings are going to pop right on his head. So those banelings finish. Neither player going for that lair yet. Just going to be sticking with baneling roach ling against roach ling. So another gas coming up now to be able to afford some more roaches. He doesn't have that many on the field right now, only 3 actually. And now that Zenio is getting his own roach warren, he is creating 6 of them right away. So now Zenio's going to have just a more diverse army. These banelings, of course, are going to be so nasty against any lings that Rhett chooses to build. That one explosion killed 10 or so. That was really huge for him. Looks like Rhett is going to try to do something sneaky around the top here, but Zenio does have an overlord in place. Looks like Zenio is going to easily see those lings coming, and will he respond? Yes, he does respond quite quickly with the speedlings of his own. He's going to try and get a little bit of a surround. I'm surprised he didn't send more lings just to kill that entire force. Instead, it's just going to force Rhett to retreat, and now Zenio is on the move on his own, coming through the middle lane here on Metalopolis. Lots of roaches here for Rhett to be able to defend against these lings. I think he'll be okay. I haven't seen an evolution. There is an evolution chamber actually, but it's up for Zenio getting ranged attacks and not Rhett. So Rhett is falling behind a little bit in tech. He's just trying to crank out as many lings and roaches as he can to defend right now. All these overlords make it so hard to see the battle, but it looks like Rhett will be okay if he can stop these baneling cocoons. Actually, these roach numbers on both sides are getting quite huge. +1 attacks for Zenio have not finished yet, so it looks like just going to be a battle of attrition. You see Rhett microing away his injured roaches like that. Zenio doesn't seem to be doing the same thing. Instead, he's getting his banelings out of dodge before they get melted down. Rhett retreating a little bit. He's got that queen there to help, but no spine crawlers or anything. He's just going to have to back up close to his hatchery so reinforcements arrive as quickly as they possibly can. More roaches coming for both players. It looks like Zenio has the larger numbers here. And Rhett, GG's, he's going to lose the last of his roaches. A couple of banelings sneaking their way in as well. And Zenio just overpowered Rhett, despite Rhett having the roach tech first. He lost so many lings with that single baneling. That actually may have cost him the game. If that baneling had missed or hit a roach or something instead, Rhett may have had the numbers to end the game right there. Instead, he was forced to retreat, and Zenio just out-macroed him. If we look at the unit count there at the end, Zenio had, at one point, he had 6 more workers. Now only 5, but still Zenio much better about creating drones there. Rhett was panicked a little bit perhaps and just kept cranking out units. So that's game 1. Let's move into game 2 and see if Rhett can salvage this series.